Yep, we're good. And now get ready. We can go live. I'm gonna do this one. So this will be just the audio.
Yeah.
That's for you.
That's for me. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do just the audio.
Yeah.
And is it close enough? It's
I think we're good enough.
It's 1:59, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, my watch says 2.
Yeah. Go ahead. Tell me when it goes in.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, this is Tipsy Tagalongs. We've been doing some podcasts this year, and we've been having a lot of fun. We're here at Chaddsford Winery, and this is one really nice place. It's a little rainy out there. You might be able to see that behind us, but
Luckily we got this tent.
Oh, and before we get started, we have to have the disclaimer.
Oh yes, always.
The disclaimer.
Always. Please drink responsibly.
Drink responsibly. We are not advocating drinking or driving or any other nastiness.
Absolutely not.
With your drinking. Just have fun when you're drinking and behave.
Responsibly.
Behave.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so that's the, right?
Hey, I'm all for it.
You gotta throw that out there. You know, I don't
doing something about drinking. You gotta
we're
have
not
it out
encouraging
there.
it. Yeah. So and housekeeping. We're gonna be at Kennett Summerfest. Next month. It's June 11th.
Yeah,
June 11th.
If it's not June 11th, I'm going to be
June
really
11th.
confused.
That is a Sunday, so a lot of their brewfests are on Saturdays. The brewfests are Saturdays. The Summerfest is on Sunday afternoon. So we're going to be there, and we'll hope to see Chaddsford Winery there. You never know.
Hopefully.
Speaking of which, Matt.
Yes.
Introduce yourself, Matt.
I was like, where are you going with this? I'm Matt. It's good to be with you guys again, and we're here with...
I'm Cameron. I'm one of the assistant managers here at Chaddsford Winery, so excited to take you guys through the part of the portfolio.
So this is quite a journey that we're going to be on.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about this.
It's very exciting to look at the different varietals that we're going to be partaking in, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sharing some of the things that are some of the best sellers, some of the featured sellers, and those kind of things, so that
and then a little seasonal.
And a little seasonal.
And a little seasonal. One we're going to get somewhere in there that's actually made from the same.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that.
So it's actually 2 of them. 2 of them are going to be the same blend or varietal, just presented under 2 different stylistic approaches. So.
Okay, so let's get started with this one. And then as we're going, we'll talk about Chaddsford Winery and where it's been. And where it is now, because I've been coming to Chaddsford Winery literally for decades. I'm that old, and it has changed a lot since the beginning, the inception of Chaddsford Winery.
Yeah, it definitely has.
But let's get started with this first.
Let's talk about this.
What is this that we're about to taste here?
Yeah, so this is our 2021 sparkling white wine. We make this with Vidal Blanc and Seyval Blanc, 2 French-American hybrids that presented in this forced carbonated format drink really similarly to like a Prosecco. We follow a very similar fermentation method. Proseccos typically go through a second fermentation. It's classified under the Charmat method. We don't do that. It's just a forced carbonated wine. So we fully ferment, and then we put it into a Charmat tank, add in that CO2, get those bubbles. Super enjoyable, refreshing, green apple and pear with a soft, bready, yeasty finish. This is one of my favorite wines for the summer, mostly because I love mimosas. I'm
a big mimosa guy.
I am a mimosa fan. Getting off work on a summer evening, a little bit of sunshine.
Than like any other drink.
So you add this into the orange juice and make the mimosa?
Right.
I can taste it
so instead of champagne.
Instead of champagne, just grab a bottle of this.
It smells kind of earthy too, which is interesting, right?
There is, I mean, the cool thing about like these 2 varietals is together, and you'll see it in the next wine because our white standard is made with the same grapes. They have this almost Sauvignon Blanc-ish hint to them. They have a little bit of herbaceousness. It can come across either as slatiness or as more green. In this, I definitely see the green aspect from the Seyval Blanc grape.
Now, you've mentioned this twice now, and I know I'm probably jumping the gun here a little bit, but You just mentioned that we're doing the sparkling now. We have another white coming up that's from the same varietal, and then we have 2 reds coming up that are from the same varietal, different. Do you guys do that a lot? A lot of plays on trying to make something different from the same thing?
Yeah, it's not something that was normal to the portfolio 4 years ago. It actually came about mostly because of COVID. Whenever we originally had to start reworking our service model, we realized we weren't going to be doing as many big festivals during the summer just because of the restrictions.
We
that actually,
was brutal.
We had a lot of juice left in tank for the core portfolio, for the White Standard, for the Sunset Blush, for the Niagara.
Wow.
These wines that we were just absolutely burning through with these big festivals. We were pouring more than we could bottle at a time, essentially. So we would do multiple bottlings through the year. So they have all this juice in tank. Corey, the general manager, goes down into the cellar with Gabriel whenever they realize that they aren't going to be doing the second bottling, and they started tasting stuff. And this was unfinished wine. It hadn't gone through any sort of amelioration. It hadn't gone through finishing processes yet. And they took the Vidal Blanc Saval Blanc blend, and they were like, let's see if we can turn this into a sparkling. And they also took the Sunset Blush, and they said, well, let's take a dry approach to this grape. And we'll talk more about that when we get there. Before we jump off of sparkling white, though, I did want you to try this just because I love it so much.
I'm so
we've been featuring a watermelon mimosa all the month of May.
We've been talking about this since I'm so excited.
So wait, we're gonna add something.
We're just going to. I have a little bit of watermelon juice right here. We're just gonna splash just until it changes color.
So I have a feeling like this is gonna be a must. You know, you got to do this. Just
honestly,
a splash. We're just doing a splash.
It's
and that's enough.
It's more than enough. I lean on the side of the essence of the orange juice should go into the mimosa.
Right.
Personally.
Right.
Yeah. You want to enjoy the wine base of it.
Exactly. Yeah. This is more like 4-to-1 ratios at the very most.
Holy mackerel!
It's refreshing.
Holy mackerel!
It's light.
This is so good. You want some? You guys want some of this?
Yeah,
oh my God!
Watching,
they're like
my wife is here, and so she is going to try this.
Yeah.
Well, so here I brought a couple of extra glasses.
A couple extra glasses if you want your own,
just in case.
That is fantastic. Yeah, that is fantastic.
It's
you can't see it off camera, but the ladies are going.
It's a
which,
fun
by the way, I'm not normally like this kind of drink guy.
Yeah,
I could.
Oh man,
I could suck this down all day long.
When I'm telling you, I get off work after a long hot day, and I go home.
No straw necessary.
The biggest glass I can find is usually this combination.
Wow,
just because
it's really ridiculous.
Perfect summer.
This is a 2 thumbs up.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah. So wait,
it's a fun feature.
What is this again?
This is our 21 sparkling white wine.
We will be buying a bottle
with a splash.
We'll be taking a bottle of that home with us today.
Of watermelon juice.
Yeah, and you can find it on the shelf at the grocery.
And you saw a couple of seconds ago how much we each put in, and it wasn't much.
No,
but man, it changed it.
That is just.
It was actually pretty good without it.
It's a good.
So
wine.
It wasn't like it wasn't like it needed something.
No.
But on the other hand, we when you added that in, that's like crazy.
It's an evolution.
It completely changes.
It's like 10 steps
it's
up.
Nuts, yeah.
Right, and
that's insane.
And that's kind of what we've been working towards here.
Holy moly!
In a large way, as I said, we had to kind of take a shift whenever a few years ago we were shut down for the summer. We ended up changing a lot of our service methods, a lot of our tasting kind of styles and approaches.
Yeah.
And we decided to start focusing a lot more on like how educational can we get, how much information can we impart in a single tasting. And so we started working on training. We started working on getting to know our portfolio better than anyone else could.
Because when COVID happens, you got to reinvent the wheel.
Yeah, you really do.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to tell you this. You could have sold this drinks to go when Pennsylvania allowed drinks to go. Right.
Yeah.
You could have just had people out there like drinks
just
to go.
Pictures of it. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my God.
we weren't doing too much of the cocktails or the slushies or anything to go, and cocktails and mimosas have never been a big part of our portfolio.
Right.
But
this could be.
It definitely.
This could be.
This could be. I think it's gonna have to be like a standing member of the summer menu at the very least.
I feel like this is a southern. It's a 2-syllable dayam.
Yes.
Right? It's good. It's good.
It's just like
sorry, folks.
It's just like the perfect 90-degree, sit outside in the sun and have.
It's a sunshine drink.
Yeah,
that's what I call it.
Yeah.
It's a sunshine beverage, feet in the pool, bottle in hand.
Yeah, that is fantastic.
I am.
Yep.
So, like I said, it was good by itself.
Yeah,
and you threw this in here, and you just.
But I think
you took me out.
But that's
I'm glad I surprised you.
That's
I'm glad I was able to do that.
It's like when the wine is good by itself, and then you add stuff on. It's not. You're not adding stuff on to make the wine palatable.
Exactly.
Adding stuff on to just
to
highlight,
to do something fun, something
exhibit
different.
a different side of it.
Exactly.
Well, and that's the cool thing. I mean, all over the world, for the longest time, wine and food were synonymous.
Yeah.
Like, they always went together. And then, I mean, we discover the North American continent. We discover California.
Right.
We have these warmer regions that start doing crazy things.
Different
things we've known
varietals
for forever. And the food aspect, I feel like, gets lost a lot.
Yes.
Here in the U.S.
Yeah. So with that, I will tell you, we have another podcast called American Wine Journey.
Right.
On June 17th. We're going to be pairing wine with burgers. Yeah. So part of the next series that we're doing with American Wine Journey is pairing wine with food and pairing food with wine.
Nice.
So we're going to be.
It's a two-way street.
Yeah.
It's like a huge two-way street because sometimes your friend comes over and drops a bottle.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do with that? You know, what do I eat with that? Because you want to fully enjoy whatever bottle that you have. So when they drop the bottle like that, then you got to figure that out. But most people are looking at it and going, okay, so if I'm just going to have food, what do I drink with the food?
Right.
But that what you were saying is completely true. I mean, you think about the stuff like in a summer, you're going to a barbecue, burgers and beer, hot dogs. Like you don't think about taking a bottle of wine to a cookout because we are not designed to think that way.
That's not the American mentality, especially approaching wine.
It's beer. You have a beer at the cookout, right? Exactly. So here's what we're promoting it. So when we do this, we're gonna have the standard, burger with onions.
Yep.
Yeah. And we're gonna have a blue cheese burger.
There you go.
We're gonna have a turkey burger, and we're gonna have a vegan burger.
Wow.
Yeah. So we're gonna have 4 different types of burgers.
I'm not part of that podcast.
And we're gonna have that. And focus on what wine do you have with that.
Right.
And then in October we're gonna have another one that's gonna do with Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yep.
What do you have with like everybody always wants to know, right? What do you have with Thanksgiving dinner?
It's funny because like I love food. I love to eat. I love to cook. And then wine. Whenever I started to get into it, like playing that into cooking, playing it into pairings, it's difficult.
Yeah.
Right.
If you've never done it before, it's difficult, and you mess up so many times. Yeah. And you have so many bad pairing experiences.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Which is why
once you learn. It just gets better and better and better.
You start catering what you're making,
and we're trying to eliminate the trial and error part of that,
right?
Yeah.
Because I've had things. So we had this bottle of Sangiovese, and we were like, what do we do with that, right? So typically you think, okay, Italian wine, Italian food, Italian grape, Italian food, kind of thing. And we're like,
I hear nothing wrong with that.
There is nothing wrong with that.
Italian, so I'm a little biased.
We ended up like pairing it with enchiladas, even. And
that makes sense.
And you're looking at this, but
think about the sauce that goes with an enchilada. That works.
And we also look at stuff like, okay, so sometimes you can use white wine with red meat. Sometimes you can use red wine with white meat. So, let's talk about this one. Speaking of which,
let's jump into this one.
And this is the same varietal.
This is the same varietal, same ratio.
Same ratio.
So it's 50% Vidal Blanc, 50% Seyval Blanc.
That's exactly.
These are we start at the same point.
Sans bubbles wines. Is what you're saying.
Essentially, this is entirely dry when we're talking about sparkling wines, champagnes, etc. they're going to have a little bit of residual sugar. They have to, just to stand up to the carbonation.
You can taste the similarities, but that is like
it's an entirely
different.
Yep.
It is very different.
Wine.
And if you told me that it was the same,
I would have
said, nah, it's close, but it's not the same. Everything.
It is the same.
But it's
the fermentation approach is very different, of course, just because this is going to be drier. The finishing process is going to be different. But this, I mean, it's light. It's crisp. It has a ton of citrus notes.
It really does.
The finish is really bright and it's refreshing. So again, going into the summer, this is what we serve, because when you're talking about coming out to visit the winery, hopefully tomorrow, whenever it's a little bit sunnier,
it'll be sunnier tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be
this afternoon.
Yeah, this afternoon.
It'll get there this afternoon.
It'll get there. It'll
supposed to, at least.
I did see that. Like four-ish. Yeah.
So right around the time I start wrapping up.
Exactly. Exactly.
But when you come out to the winery and you grab a charcuterie board from the guys over at Common Good Pizza and Tap, or you grab like a hummus platter, you bring out a summer salad to enjoy. Something with crumbled feta alongside this. Something with like fresh sliced apples, or just a little bit of fruit. Something with a little bit of tang to it.
Or
really enjoyable.
Apple feta and a drizzle of honey.
Or
together.
Or some baked brie, which they're already doing exactly that.
Wait, they're doing where?
Baked brie, just out of the food truck.
At Common Good. Really? So, what you guys can't see is just on the other side of the tent from us is a food truck. And when I say it's a food truck, it's like a food truck that you've never seen before. It's got a 60s cab on it, and it got a wood-fired pizza oven in the back. They have some. By the way, we had the pepperoni pizza, which was good.
We had the Kennet,
but we had it with the Cabernet Sauvignon, and that pairing was great. Talk about pairings. That pairing was really good. So if you wanna have a great pairing, come to Chaddsford Winery, get yourself some Cabernet Sauvignon and a pepperoni pizza.
Or honestly, bring a group of people. Grab 3 pizzas. Everybody grab a flight.
What was I thinking?
Wines.
What was I thinking? This is not a solo event.
I mean, it could be, but
you could do it on your own.
But everybody could have their own. You know, 6 of you could all get your own pizza and your own bottle.
There's also a stand over there that's selling white slushies. I mean,
they're slushies.
Everything.
The slushies are great. The slushies are a summer classic. Those will never go away. But no, they do a baked brie out of the truck, and they do some like slivered almonds and a little bit of a jam. They actually change it up according to the season.
Interesting.
And it's really cool because we see the trends of people like wanting to experience that. People wanting to experience transformative pairings. People wanting to experience food pairings that shift the palate and kind of make.
They want that experience.
They want that experience. And
they don't want to just drink wine because. No. Frankly, just drinking wine is dangerous for a lot of reasons.
Absolutely,
you know, and that was one of the struggles that
unless you're at home, and then it's
the State Board of Liquor had. We don't want to encourage people to just drink.
Exactly.
So there was the requirement for food as well, and people were selling like cheese on white bread kind of thing. But
oh man, the number of soft pretzels that I bought. To drink a glass of wine.
It's like when it's like when you're buying a scalp ticket, you buy the brochure and the tickets come for free. But no, seriously though, when you're in a situation like COVID, and that's what we want to do is we want to help people understand. Okay, so what's our best choice of wine and food? Now you can drink both of these independently,
of course,
but I could definitely see that lighter, citrusy kind of food. Is apple citrus? No.
Apple's stone fruit, but it sits in that same vein. I mean, when you're talking about something tart and acidic, and
me either. Don't worry about it.
Apple absolutely.
It's in the same genre of.
You're talking about yourself for a second there. It actually took me a second to think, is it citrus?
I'm not.
It's one of those weeks, Gary. It's one of those weeks.
This will be, when we have like the questionnaire that we offer, at the end of the year. We'll do a questionnaire, and you got to find out these facts. This will be one of these facts.
Apple citrus.
Did Gary call apple citrus?
Did he know?
Did he actually
aware?
Did he infer, or did he actually say it was?
It's interesting for the number of places that, and you guys, obviously you went the opposite direction with this, but for the number of places that ran through COVID that hit roadblocks that closed down or shuttered or whatever, there's an equal number of places that did what you guys did, where you had all this extra wine, you turned it into something.
Right.
And it's insane to hear the stories of the other side of that. I mean, everyone knows that, like, the places that shuttered and all those places that closed, but it's interesting to hear the other side of that.
Right,
The places that found different avenues.
How do you survive? How do you avoid pouring out
all that
vats of wine because you can't sell it?
You can't sell it at festivals.
And the one let's be honest, the one thing that got us through was we had an insanely solid, great customer base.
Right. Yeah,
that kept coming back and trying when we experimented with new things. I mean, there have been a few vintages that have come and gone over the last few years because, like, we tried something and
didn't work,
and it didn't quite stick. Yeah. And so we pivoted. We moved to something else.
Right.
And that's just how it goes. But the one thing that has stuck from COVID is actually an evolution of our tastings, which focuses more on food and not necessarily sitting down and having a meal with wine, but sitting down and actually trying pairings for how they affect the palate.
Right.
So when you do a tasting, do you have like a bite of food with it?
We do, yeah. So so we do 5 wine tastings throughout the year. They shift with the seasons. We'll do one style for maybe 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then we'll change up the wines, change up the food. We work with local businesses.
Because you have 21, right?
21 wines on the portfolio right now. It is stacked.
Which is a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
It's a lot of wines.
Yeah.
It's a lot of wines. Anytime someone comes in, they're like,
that's aggressive, you know?
It is.
You'd be doing well with like 10.
I honestly, I think I've seen the portfolio down to 12 at one point, and it felt like there was nothing there. But it was crazy.
Yeah, but it didn't stop people from coming.
Oh, absolutely not.
And buying the ones you had, right?
That's true. But the last 3 years, I mean, our current winemaker, all he wants to do is take on new projects and try different things, and he's so connected too. He comes upstairs during the week and he'll grab me and he'll be like, "Hey, what are they drinking this week?
Right.
What are they looking for?
Right.
What are they asking about?" And he is constantly looking for those new projects, which is cool.
And that's the lifeblood of any industry, is to make sure you're tapping in on a regular basis to find out if you're still satisfying the customer base. Because once you stop doing that, like years ago, Cadillac did a survey. They found out that the average age of their customer was 70 years old.
Wow.
Okay.
They were like,
that's an up there demographic.
Oh crap. So then they realized we have to start designing for younger generations, and they did very successfully, I might add.
Is that when they brought in Matthew McConaughey for the commercial?
Was one of the, but they started with, the what do you call it, the SUV, before it was that cool, classy, and it was a nice, there was nothing wrong with the vehicle, but it didn't satisfy the needs of the younger customer base. So every good industry is morphing constantly to do that, because the customer base is morphing constantly at the same time. So it's like this really fine line that you're just trying to follow what's going on, but to tap in like every week. What did they buy? What did they buy this week?
Do you find that the orders or the wine that's being drank week over week changes that much, or it's more seasonal, I would think?
Honestly, the cool trend we've been seeing is it connects more to those food tastings that we're doing than anything else. I mean, so the sparkling white is a constant favorite. I mean, you guys tried it. It's delicious.
Not surprising
it's great. So it's a constant favorite. It's always up there. Sunset Blush, we're going to taste it at the end. Another classic. That one's always up there. But the big shifts that we see in what customers are looking for and what customers are trying follow those tastings.
Interesting.
Because we're introducing them to the wine under a different light. We're working with Eclat Chocolates out of Westchester to develop a couple of pairings for these wines. We work with cheese wholesaler out of Philly that works across the entire region to bring in new stuff. Right now we have a beer washed goat cheese, so as they form the rind, they wash it in beer. It's salty and tangy and creamy, pairing it with pairing it with our Niagara, the sweetest wine on the portfolio.
Oh yeah, because you'd have to kind of like
it's cutting.
So it tames the sweetness.
It does,
and it tames the
cheese. But it illuminates this, like, the back of the palate that you never see. And that's what we want to talk about.
And that's exactly what people want. People want to. So people like drinking wine because it has alcohol in it, but they don't want it just because of the alcohol.
It's the experience.
So they want the experience, and if you can elevate that experience to that to that next level and beyond, and teach them how to do it, which is great.
The goal. Is sharing the information.
And that's so. Here's the other thing. So there's two other business components that people often don't realize. You have to do some trial and error.
Oh, absolutely.
You have to play with it, right? And then sometimes you just have to tell the customer what they want, right? Because Apple did that. You want and you need a phone, right? Well, wait, no, I don't. Well, yes, you do, and here's why. And suddenly, everybody needs to have an Apple phone and then Samsung phone kind of thing. So, it's one of those deals where you're telling people, hey, this is what you've been looking for so long.
Absolutely. Well, and that comes down to this motto, this mentality that we adopted coming out of COVID, which is wine for everyone. You can see it on some of our merch, you can see it on some of our branding, but wine for everyone. We want you to walk in the door and sit down and let us find the wine that you enjoy.
Right. That's the key, right?
Right.
It's only a good wine if you enjoy it.
That's the key.
Otherwise, it's worthless to you.
Yeah. Right. It means absolutely
nothing. To the
individual.
It doesn't matter how much work went into it.
What it is.
It doesn't matter if it's special or not. It doesn't matter the different approaches we're taking in the cellar unless someone's actually enjoying it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so, wine
That's
for everyone.
Pretty cool.
Come in the door. Tell me what you normally drink. Tell me what you like to drink. Tell me what you want to try. And honestly, at that point, it's on us. It's on us and our staff to interpret what you're saying to us and say, how does that correlate to our portfolio? How does that correlate to what we have?
That's not an easy task.
No. It's not. And we work really hard at it.
Especially with 21 wines.
Yeah. Right.
To kind of pick through.
But that also makes it easier. Sometimes somebody walks in and they say, I drink Moscato. And it's like, all right, easy. I have 2 wines that fall in line with that.
Yeah.
Or they walk in and they say, I don't enjoy red wines. And it's like, all right, valid. What do you enjoy? And it's like, well, these styles.
Chateau Lafite. 1898.
Right, yeah.
And you're like, let me break that out
let
for
me
you.
Let me go dig up the case I
sign
kept
the title
in the cellar.
Sign the title to your Tesla and we'll talk.
I'll go over into the Vintner house. I'll dig up what Eric left there.
Often? Some of that stuff's...
No, it's not there anymore.
It's all gone? Okay,
it is. Okay. Well, we've moved it to a different space. But he had quite the cellar down there.
Yeah.
Did he really?
I understand.
I mean, we have some wines we have a mini wine cellar. We have about 200 bottles of wine. So.
Oh, see, I'm a whiskey.
Well,
like hold whiskey.
As compared to a winery, it's mini. So we have this. Hey. Thanks for taking our picture. We're Tipsy Tagalongs, by the way.
Lauren.
That's branding on the shirt.
Branding on the shirt. Wine for everyone. Yeah, this is so. That's actually your slogan.
Yeah.
Wine for everyone.
It's something we try to embody.
Someone that wears shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's one.
I had no idea. She didn't have the black.
Yeah.
She CFW. I'm like, okay, so dang. Well, that's good.
I picked up on it. So, I got you.
We have our own branding. Enjoy life journey more often.
Yeah.
Which is and it's something as simple as coming out and doing a wine tasting. It doesn't have to cost money as long as you're enjoying life. You know what I mean? And that's our philosophy.
Well, how often?
Wine for everyone.
How often do you get someone here? Because I feel like this happens a lot, especially in this area. Like if you're in like California, it probably doesn't happen as much. But how often do you get someone that comes out here that goes, I don't like wine?
So it's usually someone who is brought here.
Right.
They're coming with a spouse. They're coming with a spouse. I've seen and experienced this.
It's a fun challenge for me.
I would
just because like as soon as I hear that, I'm like what do you like? It's like let's talk about it.
Yeah,
that's fun. Because those people
do you like to drink?
I haven't had the right stuff.
I don't like this at all. That's how I started my journey here at Chaddsford. I walked in the door and they were like, "Do you drink wine?" wine? And I was like, my mom drinks Box Merlot, and she loves Box Merlot. Good for her. That's great. I did not enjoy it.
In her defense, the Box Merlot has gotten a little bit better over the years.
It's gotten a little bit better.
It's still not what I would consider, like, I prefer, from the bottle kind
much
of
more.
There's a time and place for everything, right?
It's true.
But that was my experience with wine, and they were like, are you willing to try? And I was like, yeah. And
absolutely.
3 years later, this is where we're at. So I think those groups that come in who I don't enjoy this are fun, just because it allows us
a little more of a challenge.
Yeah, it allows us to actually try some things.
Yeah, when you get someone that comes in that knows the type of wine they like, now you're just trying to match.
Right.
But when you get someone that's a hard, I don't like wine.
Well,
I feel like that's a little more fun.
It's actually even more complicated when they say they know they like a certain wine.
Yeah, because now you're really trying to match.
It's the thing that gets worse with that is most people say they like a certain kind of wine and they don't realize that's not the wine they like. They just had a great wine 10 years ago and they want to repeat that, but they can't remember what that tasted like. And it's not. It's nothing against them. No, it's just that I usually like these. Normal. For me, I drink wine. A couple times a week at least. So, we have to. Obviously, we can't keep 300 or 400 bottles of wine in the wine cellar. So, but it's that experience, and so now you're trying to show them. So here's the good stuff. And when you're looking at somebody, the challenge. Oh my God, the challenge is great because now you've got an open slate, and I think that's what you were mentioning is the open slate.
Exactly.
The open slate is cool, and then you actually get to talk to them about like what they actually like in the verbiage that's used in the wine world.
Yeah.
Because I mean, walking off this podcast, if I looked at someone and I said, "Oh yeah, it's a fruit-forward rosé with tons of strawberry notes to it, and it's going to pair well with spicy food," like they'll hear me. But if I talk to someone and I say this is a fruit-forward rosé made from Steuben, there's no skin contact on this wine. It is entirely the flesh of the grape because it's fully pigmented all the way through.
How is
when we start talking about that, there's a gap. So finding the verbiage to help people. You got is so much fun.
You gotta talk
that's
basic.
The fun part.
This actually, I think, I've tasted this a little bit. Thank you for describing it because we got a little
sidetracked.
We did get sidetracked.
We do at times.
We really sidetracked, but on the other hand, we should talk about the wine a little bit.
Yes, absolutely.
This actually, I think, when talk about like pairings and stuff, I think this would go well with a blackened tuna.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
I think that would really take it up.
That. Honestly, even like smoked salmon. I was talking to some of our staff members earlier today. We were talking about pairings because pairings are hard. This is our but coming back to the wine, then we'll talk pairings. 2021 dry rosé redux. So why redux? It's a reduction of. It's a redo of, essentially, the Sunset Blush. We had all this juice left in tank. The winemaker decided to take a stab at making it dry, and it's phenomenal.
He is not. He is not shy about making a wine dry.
He is not. And we love it.
He's good about that. Gabriel is.
He's phenomenal.
He's a tinkerer who rarely misses.
Yeah,
I don't know if I've ever that he misses because I've never seen him miss. Right. But on the other hand, I'm just throwing it. It's a possibility that he could, but I've never seen him miss, and he's really good at tinkering.
He is great at that, and it's cool to see even in the portfolio that's been here for almost 40 years now. As long as we've been here, the Niagara, the Sunset Blush, the Sangria.
Yeah.
He did a bottling of Niagara last year and brought it upstairs, and I tasted it, and I was like, "What'd you do to this wine?" And he was like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "These characteristics that I didn't personally enjoy are gone." And he was like, "Oh, I just changed this, and this." And I was like, "You would never notice if you didn't drink it or taste it every day, but but you're
used to it."
He's constantly just pushing the bar. He's
great at it. He does a good job at and it's the subtle improvement where you're like,
Wow.
It's slightly different, but it's good.
Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely.
And that's what he does.
Right. But back to this one. So Redux,
I could definitely see
made
this.
with Steuben. Steuben is a French-American hybrid. It's fully pigmented. So that means the skins are black, the flesh of the grape is actually red, dark.
Which is
red,
where the
black
color
as
comes
well.
from.
Yep.
And that's where the color comes
Because
from.
the skin usually gives the color in the rosé.
Exactly. Typically, you're drawing a little bit of color from the skin and then finishing fermentation separately. This, they press it off the skins immediately, comes out
That's nuts.
pink color.
That's
and
crazy,
they go straight into fermentation.
Because it normally is
It's
the skin. They leave the skin in for either a couple seconds or like.
I mean, it can be a tiny amount of time. It can be up to like 24 hours or 48 hours even, depending on what kind of grapes you're using. This, I can't say enough about this wine just because it constantly surprises me.
Yeah.
And I haven't tasted many rosés that come close to this.
Yeah.
I've had a few rosés.
It's interesting. Like
this is definitely.
I occasionally like a rosé. Like I'm more of like a drier wine person
Absolutely.
in general. Occasionally I like a rosé depending on the day.
Yeah.
But dry rosé to me is like the perfect wine. It gives you the perfect mix of like the rosé flavoring that you like if you like a rosé, and then for people that don't like that like the drier wines, it gives you just enough of it
Absolutely.
to keep you attached. It's fantastic.
But again, so fruit forward. All that strawberry and there's
wonderful.
like a little bit of peach. There's some cotton candy aspects to the nose.
Yeah.
And then on the finish, it's all lavender and hibiscus. It's all of those herbaceous notes that you're looking for from a rosé. Pairing-wise, we've paired this a million different ways. We've done spicy with it.
I believe it.
We've done Aleppo chili truffle chocolates. We've done lavender ganaches. We've done we've done chocolate. We've done cheese. We've done jam. This wine, like rosés, are so much fun because they're so versatile. When we're talking about food, when we're talking about wine, and you don't know what you're going to drink or what you're going to eat that night, honestly, rosé's an easy catch-all.
Right. It really is.
It's an easy way to have.
It's pretty versatile with food.
An enjoyable pairing.
Have you found that the dry rosé opens up more possibilities, or shrinks it a little bit? In terms of pairings,
I think it opens up possibilities. I'm a dry wine person, absolutely. I enjoy our Sunset Blush on occasion. If I'm doing like classic American pub fare, Sunset Blush hits. It's perfect with all that salt and the fat, and the heat and the spice, because I like spicy food too. The dry rosé Redux is more versatile across like shareables, in my opinion. So if you're sitting down family style, you got a big, you're hosting, and there's a big spread.
Makes sense.
This will match that energy a little bit better. But yeah, that's what I appreciate about it. It's a fun wine. It's a new kind of cornerstone of the portfolio too. Again, 3 years ago we hadn't taken a stab at a rosé of this style. We would release one like French Saunier style rosé a year. And that was it. And then COVID happened. We were like, well, I guess we're releasing a second rosé this year, and it's been popular. It's been good.
No, this is good. Yeah. I like the I like how it's dry, but it doesn't like suck all the moisture out of your mouth.
Right.
You're still getting like the sweet
and like you said,
there.
The finish is it just keeps giving, on the end, which is also unusual because not all wines do that. They might give you a good finish, but they won't finishes when you finish drinking the wine.
Right.
And it goes down. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
And I just like to, because some people, when they're watching the podcast, they might not know.
Yeah. Totally valid.
But some, this finish lingers. For a little while, which is different, and it's a nice linger. It's kind of like, and
again,
I'm like, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah,
right, and not something you see with rosé. Like that,
right?
That's the other thing.
That's absolutely true. Yeah,
and I mean, even compared to we have the Saunier style that we released, and beautiful wine, delicate, versatile. It has this complexity to it that's gorgeous.
Right.
But if you drink them side by side, like this, for just like kind of being a fruit bomb almost.
Yeah.
Like if we're talking West Coast, like fruit bomb.
This
it's closer to that.
This could compete with anything on the West Coast.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Yeah. No doubt about it.
For
I mean, you're looking at it and going, I mean, because a lot of times you think Sonoma Valley, Paso Robles, everybody's like into the Napa Valley thing, but do you really want to? No. It's it's a lot of money for a rosé.
Yeah,
it is. It is.
So it's not like it's a terrible thing, and it's probably a good rosé, but that's not the point. No, it's like normal people buy rosés that are $100 or so.
Exactly.
And there's nothing wrong with that again, because it's good rosé. But this is interesting. So where's your
right?
Oh, I can do. Oh,
there you go, sir. Yep.
That's where I placed it.
All right. So fourth in our lineup of 5. So this was my personal choice. I wanted to get some of the core portfolios, some of the ones that have been around for a bit, but not everyone's familiar with, because as you mentioned, Gary, it's evolved. Like Chaddsford Winery has evolved quite a bit.
Oh, a lot. Yeah, it's been cool. It's been fun watching it evolve, to be honest with you.
Yeah. So this, honestly, in my opinion, is another step in that evolution. This is our carbonic Cabernet Franc.
Wait, what?
Yeah. So Cabernet Franc on its own, pretty familiar for most people. Big part of Bordeaux blends. Big part of Virginia. Virginia is huge for their Cabernet Franc.
Yeah.
So we're actually sourcing this grape from Coatesville. It's coming down from 20 minutes north of here. And we did a carbonic maceration on it, which, if you're not familiar, it's an intercellular fermentation. You throw the whole cluster of grape into the tank.
Right.
You throw in the yeast.
Everything.
You literally just dump it all. It comes off the vine, it goes into the tank, essentially. And you throw yeast in there on top. The bottom layer forms juice from the weight of the grapes, starts to ferment. It causes the flesh of the grape inside the skins to ferment, split, and bleed out. And then they press off the juice from there after it's fermented.
So they take it out of the tank, they press all the stuff out, whatever's left.
After fermentation, which is not normal. No, normally you're crushing and everything.
Is that stalks included?
I don't know if they did it with stems and stalks on this. I don't think just because of the way it tastes. But what you end up with is this kind of like Beaujolais Nouveau wine. It's unoaked. It's very light. It's deceptively light on the palate. This is 13.5% almost.
You would not know that.
You would not know that. You would not. No. But it's jammy. It's
just smooth.
Super fruit forward.
Nice,
I get a ton of like strawberry and rhubarb off of it.
Yeah.
Cool thing about Cab Franc as well is it contains high amounts of this chemical called pyrazines. Pyrazines are what makes green things taste green. You see it a lot in Sauvignon Blanc. You see it a lot in Cab Franc. You see a tiny bit of it on the finish of this, and it provides this beautiful balance to all that fruit. It's a little bit of almost basil and mint. And this is my new summer wine. So I mean, it's light. Yeah, I mean, that's refreshing.
That's the you can drink that any time of the year. Like that is fantastic.
Yeah,
I feel like it has all that because it's not oaked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If it were oaked, it'd be a whole different wine.
Once you oak anything, it changes.
Well, of course, yeah. But you're looking at it and going, okay, this has a lot of flavor for an unoaked wine.
Exactly. But that's the cool thing is like this was almost like Gabriel chose the perfect approach to exhibiting the best qualities of this grape, right? And it's so easy drinking. I've been having fun with pairing it. We were talking about barbecue earlier. Like honestly, I'm from the south, so pulled pork. Brats. Jalapeno poppers. Like you could go the distance with this red wine, which you wouldn't normally
do,
right? You're looking for something chilled, you're looking for something sweet to go alongside all those smoky, savory characteristics. But this will hold up. Like that's
and it's not sweet at all.
No, it's not.
You get all the fruit, but it's just dry wine.
Well, that's the deception.
So
again, fruit
it's got
forward.
The fruit, but it's not sweet. Which is interesting.
Well, and that's the fun one to talk about a lot here too. Is people come in, they're like, I like sweet wines, and we have them taste our sweet wines.
Well, right.
Like,
define sweet.
Too sweet. And I'm like, so do you like jammy and fruity? And you start using those synonyms, and they're like, yes. And I'm like, cool. So let's go back to the dry wine.
We've got like 5 of those.
Exactly.
And this is again the same grape as the rosé, right?
No. So this is the carbonic Cab Franc. This is Cabernet Franc.
Oh, I missed it.
The Sunset Blush and the dry rosé.
Oh, it's the Sunset Blush.
We haven't gotten
yet. I was going to say, wow, they are way different.
Right. Honestly,
because they are way different.
That would be cool.
All right, it's a good thing my palate is
handmade.
Yeah, Steuben can make jammier reds like that. It's not something we use it for. We use it actually for 3 styles of rosé. We do a sparkling rosé. We aren't going to be doing that one this year just because of lot sizes, but I'm looking forward to it coming back next year.
Yeah, and we've talked about that.
Would you ever do the dry rosé reduct as the way you did this sparkling white?
That's exactly.
Is that what you guys do?
That's exactly how we do that sparkling, and it's awesome.
Yeah,
it's it's like strawberry shortcake.
Yeah, I believe
it's really yummy.
Yeah. And you're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna like do the splash of watermelon. You're gonna do a splash of like strawberry, or.
Honestly, with that one, I'm usually doing a splash of St. Germain's and a little bit of gin.
Yeah.
Oh. Make it almost a French 75.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We could use the Revivalist gin from Brandywine Branch.
We could, we were just there
up near Elverson. We were there in April.
No, Revivalist is great. They're awesome.
So
they also have some really good whiskey.
When I'm in the. When I'm in the store, I don't typically go straight for the gin, right? Yeah. But these guys had the most incredible gin. We tasted 4 gins, and it was amazing.
Did you do their summer?
Yeah.
So I have their.
But there was one that was coming out. There's one that's coming out in June that we didn't have because they hadn't had enough of it yet.
Yeah.
But they were talking about how they had another one coming out in June.
That's cool.
So it's always good. So here at Tipsy Tagalongs, we encourage the local flavor kind of scenario. Yeah. So if you want to combine 2 of them together, that could be the way to go. You know, and I'm sure if you hit up Cheryl in the Brandywine Branch Distillery, she'll tell you which of the Revivalist gins will pair.
Yeah, absolutely.
She definitely would.
She's on top of her game out there because we had a great tasting. Yeah. And we got the burgers that are there. I don't know if you've ever tasted those burgers.
I haven't.
Fantastic. Oh my god, So anyway, so when you're looking at this kind of stuff, there's so many things you can do with it. Right. This really does.
Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about doing not really a partnership, but for lack of a better term, a partnership with another local distillery or whatever? Or
so we, we're Pennsylvania wineries. So under that, we can only carry other Pennsylvania products.
Right.
When we do cocktails and stuff going into more of the winter time, we stay local. We work with local distilleries. We have a number of craft beers available. As for partnerships to produce something, sadly, that's 3 steps above me. Gotcha. So it's not something that I could speak to. I would love to see it. I know
you might have influence in it,
I appreciate that.
never downplay your
exactly.
I appreciate that a lot. But no, we it's not something I know of in the works right now. It's something I would love to see going down the road. There's this year upcoming has been a lot of focus on our portfolio, on developing more educational programming, developing more following for that, honestly.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And trying to find a way to make it as personal, yet at the scale we need it to.
Yeah.
Right. So continue.
So there's that, there's that balance that you have to achieve. And when you're looking at making that, that personal, you're talking about, when you pair like that bite with the tasting kind of thing, that I will tell you is an incredibly effective strategy because we were in Sonoma Valley, and we walked into, this was literally, we're like, this is our last winery that we're going to wine taste. We're done for the day after this, right? And we were already like toasted, not in a toasted sense of drunk. We were just
fatigued.
Yeah, you're fatigued for wine tasting. And if you don't think that's a thing, try go wine tasting to more than 3 wineries.
Honestly, once you hit like 8 wines. Like that's
it's a lot.
And we're not talking about wineries. We're talking about different wines. Yeah, it's very difficult. So we walked in and we were greeted at the door. Welcome to Williamson Wineries. We offer our wine tastings for free, and this is Sonoma Valley. I mean, where earlier in the day it was like $25 for a single tasting.
Yeah. Jeez.
And we walked in, we're like, Wow. Okay, sure. Right, nice. So we did, even though it was the end of the day. Now, they had a piece of food with every wine that we tasted.
That is so cool.
And they had it phenomenally paired, which sounds like what you guys do on this side of the, the land mass. But I will tell you, we walked away with a membership.
Right.
Yeah. Because we were like, now I can see it. I can see, so most people, like if you're going to paint a room, for instance, what color should we paint it? And people are, I'm going somewhere.
I was like, where are we going with this, Gary?
They're like, oh, well, it'd be really cool to paint this blue, or should I paint it green or whatever, and then they're like, I don't know how to do that. And so they buy all the pint samples and they put them up there and they try it all out, and then they're like, boom, and they choose one, and then they don't even like the one they chose. Same thing in wine tasting, and people don't realize that these guys already did it for you. Right? And that's what I'm saying.
Absolutely.
You brought it back. You landed the plane.
But thanks for calling me out on it.
I was
having a moment.
I didn't know where
it would have been good to roll
exactly. But no, I think the same thing. This is
people don't have that vision.
I think the same thing though when it comes to whiskey or like local whiskey, local beer. Like I think the same thing with all of that stuff. We are just here tasting things. We are not making it. We don't know what goes into the process, the back end, every single time we're drinking a glass of wine. The people that do are the people that work at the winery, the people that work at the distillery. Like, you guys are living this every single day. Like, this is what this wine does, is what this wine does, this pairs with this.
And that's you need to do this.
Right.
Where that comes in.
Exactly.
That business
that
model.
100%.
That expertise applies.
But then there's the balance of you need to do this without offending someone, because we all, including myself, we all want to think it's our decision. But the reality of it is you did the legwork and you're saying, hey, this goes well with this.
Well, I'm a big fan of having the journey picked for me, especially when it comes to, like, I like wine. I enjoy it. I like it. I grew up around wine, being Italian. Everyone had a glass of wine every single day that I was around my grandparents and stuff like that. I don't know it though, so I'm a big fan of going in and being like, I like these flavors. Where do I go from here?
Yes. Right. No, and honestly, that's being an educated customer. That's knowing your own palate. That's knowing your things. Even when you don't know those things. Though, before you had those flavors locked in, before you understood what your preference was it intimidating to walk into a winery? Yeah,
absolutely.
Of course, right? And that's the bridge we're trying to get. Like we want to carry Cabernet Sauvignon that drinks with those beautiful, like, spicier, pepperier notes on the finish, especially when pairing a pizza. Like, we want to be able to invest the time to craft those high quality, time intensive wines. And we do. We make time for those. But we also, we want to have Sunset Blush ready to go for the person who walks in and says, I don't quite understand yet. And it's like, well, let's talk about it. If you want to understand, like, let's talk about it.
And it's an evolution.
It is.
We all and it goes back to the beginning when we were talking about, wine for everyone, which, it took me a little bit longer to figure out that she was actually...
It's okay.
It's all right. So, sometimes I'm slow.
It's okay, Gary.
But
it's all right.
But, it goes back to that wine for everyone, and there really is. And I'm one of my famous sayings is wine tastings are to find out what you like and what you don't like.
Absolutely.
And right now, whatever you like is what you like. There's no right or wrong to that. It's just what you like. Why drink a wine? Why would you want to buy a bottle of wine that you don't like?
And I think
the tasting kind of like channels you to that.
I think that's a big thing though that intimidates people about wine is, like, you hear all these things, you see all these stories about, like, the sommelier and you hear this guy that's like, if you don't know what you're drinking, you shouldn't be drinking wine.
Wait, no.
And
he does the
Yeah, and like you can use that stuff.
Oh yes, this came from this village in Tuscany, and it was on the the eastern side.
You see the pretentiousness that can come with wine.
Okay, so the worst part about that is they actually know that.
Oh,
that's the worst part about that.
That's crazy.
100%.
Crazy.
That's the worst part about that.
But your palate.
But the rest of us aren't there.
But the rest of us aren't there. That can be the thing that's really intimidating for people that don't drink
because
wine.
That's how they think of wine.
That's how they think about wine.
Yeah.
You think about wine like that, and you think about beer like the guy that's at the gas station driving a pickup truck. You don't think about the amount of work that goes into making a beer.
We want to talk about
beer. When you're thinking about wine, you think about the guy in the suit drinking and telling you exactly what village and what year the grape was grown, and it's insane that they know that, but not everyone thinks that way, and not everyone knows that, and it's still okay to be an everyman coming in and trying wine for the first time.
Yeah. And so that's where the wine for everyone comes in, because you want to be able to be have both as customers, and both walk out happy.
Exactly.
And that's a 100%. Really hard task.
It's a big gap. It's a big gap.
Oh, it's a huge gap. Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, we even have to start that with our staff whenever they come in for their first few trainings.
Right.
Like, we work really hard to teach you what you need to know, and to teach you how to perceive wine, and to teach you how to communicate that to other people. Just on the staffing side. And then whenever it comes to the customer interactions, I mean, it's always an adventure,
right? I mean, different people react different ways, and you want them. And you don't know what kind of day they had before they got there, and whether they came in a bus and they've already at like 4
or other wineries
or
coming in,
or what they're
coming in a little deep.
Exactly? What is it that they're looking to do? They're just looking to drink, or do they want to taste wine? Which is, and there's a difference in that.
There is a difference, and there's a difference from the person that wants to taste wine and another person that wants to taste wine. Do you want to come in and try everything, or do you want to come in and you just want to try?
No, I just want to find what I like.
Okay, so I'm the person who wants to try everything.
I want to try everything.
I like
give me
the experience, to be honest with you, and this has been fun. We haven't talked about
last
this,
but not least.
We haven't talked about this.
So the oldest wine on the portfolio in relation to the rest.
Like this has been sold here for how many decades?
So from my understanding,
4.
It's at 4 decades. At the very least. We've been open for 41 years, and this wine has been here for 41 years.
I won't say that I was here in the first year or two, but I will say that I do know that it's that old. And but it's been a standard.
It has.
It's been one of the standards.
It's a classic Sunset Blush, a semi-sweet rosé. This is going to be made with the same grape as the dry rosé Redux.
Okay, so now I taste.
Just looking at it, looking
familiarity.
Now you can see the similarities.
So I mean, even just those similarities. The exact same color in the bottle, which you don't normally see for a sweet rosé versus a dry rosé. But I mean, the comparison is you can see that they came from the same.
And it is semi-sweet. It's not like.
It's the same as the white and the sparkling white that we had earlier. You can taste some similarities.
Yes.
But they are drastically different wines.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you like with the dry rosé, again, it gives you all that fruit with the dry end. This gives you more of that sweetness, but you still have a little bit of that dryness.
It's got some. It's definitely dry. Definitely dry, and it's not overriding sweet. So it's not like you're doing a Jolly Rancher in a bottle.
It's
throwing my wife under the bus again. She was just talking about how she's not a big like sweet, like super sweet wine person. So she stays away from most rosés. She just took a sip of this, and the face that she made, I think that might have been one of her favorites that she had today. The Sunset Blush, the last one.
Yeah.
I mean, both are delicious. Both have a time and place,
and they have exactly. They both have a proper setting.
Absolutely.
And I like that because you're not saying, wait a minute, I can't ever drink this. It's not the way that works. You're looking at it and going, okay, so I'm not going to drink this with steak. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But
wings.
Wings, definitely,
Oh yeah,
you could
buffalo wings.
definitely.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
yeah.
100%.
hot sauce
Hot
wings.
sauce,
100%.
yeah.
Yep.
So
Oh,
good.
crap.
You got the
Just
spicy, you got the
Yeah.
sweet. It's that's
Yeah.
So Cameron's coming back with wings in about 10 minutes.
yeah.
Fingers
I'll be-
crossed. I hope so.
Yeah.
Just have to
Yeah, but
run up
this
to Buffalo Wild Wings real quick.
Oh, are they? Yeah, never mind.
No.
No, but it's interesting
And he
to
comes-
see.
Never.
It's interesting to see because we've only had 5
Right.
today, and you have 21 in the portfolio.
Well,
Yeah.
five here.
5 here. That's what I'm saying. 5 here.
Because we've had the,
yeah.
we've had the
a couple
cab
others.
set.
Yeah,
and-
I had the
Artisan
red
rosé.
standard. And yeah.
Red Standard, the Cabernet
Yeah.
Sauvignon, and what's the white you guys had?
I don't know what the white was.
So we have had like 8.
Yeah,
out of
yeah,
the
I think so.
21.
Out of
Covered
the
a good
21.
portion.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
and it was
Yeah,
and
pretty
it's a
solid
good, and it's a
mix.
good mix of the
Yeah,
portfolio.
pretty much
that-
all the
that
way
you guys
across.
offer.
Yep.
Yeah, so I like that, and
Yeah,
that's
man,
what I like. I
yeah.
like to see. Okay, so what am I going to actually use this for?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and so you're looking at it and going, okay, so yeah, wings. Damn, wings.
Well,
I wish you hadn't said that. Now I'm hungry for wings.
Honestly, wings and Indian food, curry.
Ooh,
Curry with that?
Nice, yeah,
So
with
good.
some good.
So good. Oh my god.
I feel
I
like
told you I love food.
I feel like you've done that before.
Maybe a couple of times.
It's nice to see that many in
Right.
a small sampling. Obviously, we had
Right.
8. It's nice to see that many different wines, but not dipping into what a lot of I grew up in South Jersey, so a lot of the South Jersey wines dip into that really obnoxiously sweet fruit wine. And I do not like it.
Like,
I am not.
valid.
It's like
Like,
blueberry,
the-
but it's like blueberry
The
sugar.
portfolio is like 8 wines,
Yeah.
7 are sweet.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and the one is like a
Exactly.
Pinot Noir.
Oh, my
kind of
Here's
thing.
the
Yeah.
thing. Here's the thing.
But-
for some people,
But that's
that
what
works.
sells there.
Yes,
Some people
exactly.
that works.
For some people that
And
works. For my
not gonna lie.
my aunt will live in that. She
Absolutely.
will love it, and it is the best.
There are people
For me,
who love that wine. And
This
that's
to
great.
me is like a wine portfolio that I just want to.
You can
taste.
buy into this.
Yeah.
I love that.
You can buy into
Absolutely.
I appreciate the compliment.
Absolutely.
I will warn you, we have 2 fruit wines.
Yeah, and I feel like
But no,
when
they're
you're
Again,
in this
nothing
area,
wrong with it.
though, and when you're in this area, there's a lot of great fruit that exists
Yes.
in this area,
Yes.
and so you have to have,
But-
1, 2, maybe even 3 or 4. Like you have to have it.
Of course.
But there's a difference between throwing out a blueberry wine that tastes like you dumped 7 pounds of sugar on it, and then actually having a blueberry wine.
For sure. Well, I mean, we have our spiced apple that comes out in the fall, and
Yeah.
that it's delicious.
Love a good
It's awesome.
spiced apple.
Love a good spiced
Yeah.
apple wine. This last year, Gabriel took a stab at making it into a sparkling apple,
Ooh,
and that was
I can imagine.
I remember him talking
I
about
can
it.
imagine.
good. It was
Yeah.
some good stuff. It went.
We did not
it went
get that.
pretty fast. The lot
Yeah,
size
that's
wasn't
why.
very big.
It wasn't- they didn't make that
and
many-
It took about a month and a half.
How many bottles
Yeah.
did you have of that?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
Okay, so
I don't
how many
remember.
cases
Did it
do
go
you sell a
fast?
year?
Total.
Total.
So I can tell
Everything,
you. I can
everything.
tell you off the top of my head, we made 24,000 cases.
There
last
you go.
year, or 22,000.
That's a lot of wine, folks. That's a lot of wine.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And we're moving through vintages left and right. I mean, the white standard vintage we have right now, the 2021, will move into the next vintage probably in the next month.
Wow.
And that release last fall.
Wow.
So
And that's because, all right, so
crazy.
let's switch to events. You have
Right.
a lot of events.
we have
this
a lot
summer,
of
right?
events.
Yeah.
coming up.
This is
Yeah.
like one of the first events you've had,
Yeah,
in
the
the season.
Friends and Family Weekend is really nice. We've done a
and
couple.
it's going. How many? What? It's 3:00 now. How
It's
long
3
is it
o'clock.
going?
We're going until 6 tonight.
And then tomorrow.
And then tomorrow
So
we'll be open.
come
12
on
to 6
down,
again.
right? Come on down.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, what's your next event?
Next big event is going to be the Taco Fest, Memorial Day weekend. Going to have out some nacho trucks, taco trucks. The Common Good Pizza and Tap is going to change
Common
up their
Good Pizza
menu.
and Tap is really good.
Yeah, they're going to change
Yeah.
up their menu a little bit to be on theme.
Nice.
They're the
And,
ones who made the pizza that goes really, really
Yeah.
well with the Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah, and
Very
so
good
we're just gonna have some live music. We're just gonna hang out.
Oh,
It's gonna
cool.
be a good
Love
day.
That sounds like
Fingers crossed for
it.
good weather.
kind of a relaxing party kind of
That's
thing.
that's the
Yeah.
goal. That's the goal. Come out, bring
Yeah.
a blanket, spread out in the field,
Man.
drink a couple of glasses of wine, listen to the music, grab some good food.
It sounds like
and just
something
hang
anybody
out.
can do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just about.
This is a good Memorial Day weekend plan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that sounds good.
So Memorial Day weekend, Taco Fest. That's the next
Taco
big
Fest.
one.
When is the Wingfest.
It's as soon.
It's a work in progress.
I just take that note real quick. That's a good idea.
Yeah. 5 wing trucks.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should do that for Father's Day.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would be like
Wingfest.
Yeah, the Wingfest for Father's Day. That could be
Maybe
an interesting
next year.
thought. Yeah.
Next year.
solid Father's Day plan.
Just you put me as a footnote somewhere.
Understood.
You know,
I got you.
I could be even like you could have footnotes 1, 2, 3. Footnote
credit,
4.
yeah.
You know, Gary suggested the Wingfest.
I will give you props if we end up acting on it.
Right, I get it.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. That was great. So, what do you have anything else you want to say before
Honestly,
we sign off?
No, I appreciate you guys coming out, making the time, having a great conversation.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
I told you earlier, we're just going to have fun talking.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
and we got a lot of information, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because
Happy to share.
And that's why we like to have. So we set up the third mic. Sometimes people use it, sometimes they don't. But the reality of it is hugely beneficial.
Absolutely. I mean, we can drink through the wine.
And we can talk about wine.
The next guy talk about it.
It's not a problem for us to talk about it.
To get the background of the winery,
talk
and
about
the vineyards and vintages, and like that's not something we're gonna have information on.
Excited to do it.
And that's what that's what helps draw people.
100%. For sure.
So we're looking at that. We're good.
I'm great. Have a good one.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining our podcast, Tipsy Tagalongs. And we've had a lot of fun for this hour.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been
a good time.
incredible. So don't forget, next month we've got the Kennett Summerfest.
Yep.
And we've also got pairing wine with burgers. Yeah. And finally,
Keep an eye out for Spotify. We will be there shortly.
We're gonna throw some
the audio
stuff
will be up on Spotify, so just keep an eye out.
So you can actually listen to these things when you're driving to work, or if put it on.
Tell a friend about it.
Put it on 2 times speed, and you'll absorb it that much faster.
Yeah.
But the reality of it is, we're just gonna keep on rolling with this stuff. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And don't forget to drink responsibly. Okay, drink responsibly.
Yeah.
We said that at the beginning. We'll say it at the end. We'll always say it. And we all want you guys to make a safe trip back to wherever you're going from having a great time here.
Yep.
So enjoy life, journey more often. Until the next time, thank you very much.
Cool. All right.